Good morning. Good morning. Y'all figured it out yet? What's happening in the next 5 years? 5 years. 5 years older. 5 years older. That's what's going to happen for me. I'm working on my golf swing. I'm trying to work on that. Nothing really spiritual at this moment. I'm still thinking about it, trying to get that done. I hope you've been thinking about it. So we're going to be talking about what's got to happen today. We hear these things. We're going to set up goals. We're going to do what we need to do, and we're going to change our life. I'm going to give you how God does it today. And so it's going to be like, okay, this is how he did it. Maybe you should try it, that kind of thing. So we're going to get in that as we go. So one of the things that has to happen, we've been talking about it. I don't know if you have what we call an internal crisis is what has to happen. Because most of you are going to come to God or change your world because it's going to hurt. There's going to be some pain involved. So then you're going to change your world. What we're trying to do is change our world and what's going to happen in the next 5 years without actually having a crisis. Because that's a little better. Because what happens if you have to change because of a crisis, then you probably wasn't prepared for it. So what we do is we try to get prepared for what's going to happen and already be doing the right things and the right steps. We're going to talk about habits today, and you're going to see something in a minute of how a habit actually changed a life. It is interesting that what we do on habits and the way we set our life up, it does influence other people, not only you. So I want you to think about what's going to happen with not only you, but what other people are going to be, how they're going to benefit by what you do. Because I think we've been talking about the next 5 years, and we're just thinking about us, but it does matter. It will matter what you do, and you'll see a story in the Bible. I'll show it to you in just a minute. So we have to think about it. What we want to do, we have habits we do every day. Let me say this. 40% of what you do every day, you did not choose. Because something else chose it for you. It's just certain habits you do, the way you do things, even go to work, what you have to do, all those things, 40% of it, you did not choose. So what we have to get to, and this is where we're going, is we have to get to the place and the things is where I can choose it. If I want to change my life, then I got to create a new habit. I got to create a new way of the way I'm going to do things. All of you will say the same things. What I want to change, where I want to, whether it be lose weight, finances, I want to read a book, I want all these things. But there's a certain way to do it to make it happen. And then when we get to the spiritual stuff, we'll talk about that in just a minute. I think we play around with it. I don't think we're really serious about we want to be like God. I think we just like Sunday morning and we like a message. But when it gets down to it, if we're going to become like Jesus Christ, there's some things we're going to have to do. That's just what it is. There's no free ride here. There's no free ride anywhere. If you're going to change your finances, it's going to take hard work. If you're going to lose weight, it's going to take hard work. And the reason it is because where we live. This isn't heaven, and we live in a place called earth. Sin moved in. Jesus saves us, all those things. But if it's going to happen, you're going to have to work for it. So we got to create. Now, I don't know what this will do for you when it comes to this. You got to create an internal crisis. Now, some of you are more motivated than others, wouldn't you say? And motivation will take you to Valentine's Day. It will. I am motivated. I'm going to exercise. I'm going to get up. We talked about last week, and we're going to talk some more about it. It's taking the small bites. Too little to fail is what we talked about last week. I'll show you this. But I think all of you bite off more than you can chew when it comes to I want to change my life. And I want to change my life with God. I want to change my life with relationships. Some of these relationships, it might be that maybe you need to forgive. Might be a problem. Don't know yet. This is what we have to think about in the next 5 years. What I want to become, who I want to become. And we can ask that spiritual question. I can say, who do you want to become? And all of you will say, I want to become like Jesus Christ. That's pretty good? There's a way to do that, actually. There's a way to know and to be and to become like Jesus Christ. There is a way to do that. What I'm asking you, are you willing to put the things in place, and they call them systems in place, in order to make that happen? Most of you fail because you don't have a good system. And I'll talk about that in just a minute. The story that's going to happen is that these guys had a system. And because of their system, they were able to help someone else. Because of their habits, their system created a habit of what I'm going to do every day, where I'm going to walk every day, what I'm going to do. You see, this is how it happened in the Bible. You have to think about Moses and Abraham and Daniel and all these things. Even Daniel, before he got thrown in lion's den, they had all these decrees and everything. And what Daniel did was the same thing every day, because he had a system and a habit, and it didn't matter what the crisis was. He still was going to pray 3 times a day. And this is what you have to get to. If you have a system that is in place where you're going to become like Jesus Christ, and you're going to know the Bible and understand God's word and understand God's power, then you won't have prayer of crisis all the time. You just do the normal stuff that you normally do. You don't have to look for a verse. You already have one. You don't have to say, God, where are you? You've already been there. And this is what happens. So we're going to talk about this as we move into this. I'm going to help you with this too little. You're too little to fail. Now, we did talk about this, didn't we, last week? How many can do 360 push-ups? I'm going to ask you again. Can everybody do 360 push-ups? Raise your hand. Yes, we can. Yeah, we do one a day. You remember? Some of you were here last week, so go ahead. We're going to do one a day. And, can everybody pray every day? Does everybody pray every day? No. No, you don't. Does everybody read their Bible? They want to be like God. I want to know what God knows. Does everybody read their Bible every day? No, they do not. We don't have a system for that. It's a hit or miss. So we're going to break things down into little bites. Little bites which create little habits which change the world. And you're going to see this in a minute. So it's the little habits, the little bites, the little things that's going to change your world. And I don't know what you want to do. I don't know how many. Most of the people who are going to set goals, 92% of you in this room will not do it. You're not going to make it. You're not going to lose anything or you'll gain it back. It's because you don't have the right system in place. And where do we get the system? God showed us the system. This is how you do it. You have got things mixed up, and this is why you cannot succeed. So we're going to do that in just a minute. So let's talk about what you want to do. Let's do that. I think you need to think about this as we get into this. Finding a way to make change. Finding a way to take, this is important because you want more money, but I think you're asking for change rather than change. We have to find a way and find the time to change. And here's what I would say to you. Jesus Christ never said I didn't have enough time. He didn't ever say, I'm too busy. I'm too busy to deal with you. The disciples are killing me, and I don't have time. Jesus' habit, his habit was, I'm going to meet with my dad every day, all the time, every day. That's my habit. That's what I'm going to do. He had time to change. So if you're saying, I don't have time, it's because you're not in charge. I'm just telling you, if you're so busy, you can't have time to change. And the other thing is because you're trying to do it in the wrong place and you don't have the right system. And that's usually what happens to most people. So if you're going to exercise every morning and you're going to do all those things you need to do, what do I have to do to make it happen? This is what we're going to talk about, finding the time to make change. You can have more money, you can have more time, you can have all the things that God wants for you if you do this thing right. And I can show you how that works in just a minute. But most of you say, I want to be like Jesus Christ. That's what we do. And here's the things you want to change. Here's what everybody in America wants to do right now. I want a physical change, and most of that is, I don't think it's like, get big and bulk up, look like me or anything like that. I'm sorry. A life change. This will be financial. I want to read a book. How about that? I want to read a book. I want to do something. I'm going to go get more education. You got 5 years, right? Got 5 years. So I'm going to have a physical change. I'm going to lose weight. I don't know how much you want to lose. 10, 20, 30, 40. I don't know what you got there. And then life change. Then you have the spiritual change. I want to change spiritually. Have all these things happening. I want to become more like God. I want to become more like Jesus Christ. I want to do things that he does. I want to lose weight and all that. Well, the problem is, it's just a lot of want to be. This is what I want to be, and this is what I want to do. We know what the what is, but you don't know the how. You don't know the how. So when it comes to the spiritual stuff, I can tell you exactly how to be like Jesus Christ in the next 5 years. And this is how it works. This is how it works. Once you accept Jesus Christ in your life, get ready to work. This is how it works. Read, pray, serve, give. And you'll say, well, I do that. Do you? You will look. You got to figure out who you are. Read, pray, serve, give. We know most people don't read the Bible at all, except when you're in trouble. Now, when you have a crisis, you go find something. And then you pray these prayers of crisis. Lord, help me, Lord, I don't have no money. Why don't you have money? You ever thought about that? Why don't you? God has told us to plan and make budgets and all the things that need to happen. And the other thing, the reason why you don't have money is because you haven't let God in your finances at all. You have no idea what God can do. You're trying to operate outside of Him, but then you want to be like Him. Isn't that an amazing thing? And you're serving. We're going to do all this. We're going to break it down just a minute for you. But most of you, the reason why you don't have the full measure of God in your life is because you won't let Him in. You want to dabble with it. You want to play church. You want to play Scripture. You want to play serve. And you want to tip God maybe. And then you ask that question, God, I don't have any more money. God, save me. Give me some money. I need some money. He's got plenty of it. You just haven't put Him in there. And you say, well, why are you saying this? It's the truth. You want to be like Jesus Christ, do it all. Or don't do it. Don't do nothing. Don't play with Him. Don't play church. Create the system and where you're going to make things happen, where you're going to become like Jesus Christ, where God's Word is going to be a priority, where you're going to pray for people besides you. Isn't it amazing all our prayers are about us? That's because we haven't got a system. We haven't got a system. When crisis happens, you don't have to run to God. You just do what you've been doing. You see how that works? You just been doing what you've been doing. These are the things He tells us to do. Creating the right habits, but it comes from the right systems. So we have to look at these things on how to make this change. Now this happened, all three things happened, by the way, to this one guy. This one guy, and I'll read some of this to you because I got some of the verses highlighted, but I want you to see it. This guy was born crippled. This all happened in one day, though. The physical, the life change, the spiritual change all happened in one day. It all happened at the same time. It wasn't by his doing, but it was by his doing. Because this guy was asking for a change, but what he really needed was a change. He was actually asking for something that was too small. He was asking for something that was easy, but that would run out. What he really needed was God's in his life. He needed somebody to come in and change him in a way that he could not change more than just with money. And so Peter and John are going to show up and do this for him. It's a good story, but you will miss some things I'll help you with because this thing happened because somebody had created a system and they had created a habit in order to find this guy. So they bring this guy out. Here we go. One day, Peter and John were going up to the temple at the time of prayer. At 3 in the afternoon, they were praying, 3 in the afternoon. Now, a man who was lame from birth was being carried to the temple called Beautiful. Now, that's really, I think that's really interesting that this guy's been, lame from birth. This is his normal day, though. You know what I'm saying? This is normal for him. His system was, and his habit was, you carry me to the temple at 3 o'clock. You know why you do that? Because that's where the Christians are, and they're supposed to be generous. He didn't say, take me to the grocery store. He didn't say, take me to the local bar. He said, take me to the church because they're supposed to be generous. That's what he was thinking. And this is happening every day. Every day this is taking place. So Peter and John are coming by, and this guy's out there, and he's begging for money, and he's at the gate out there called Beautiful. I don't know how beautiful that was for him. But he had gotten used to not being able to walk. He'd gotten so used to it, he forgot about it. He forgot that something else was happening in his life. All he knew was, I need money, I need change, and Peter and John are going to give him a change, but it isn't the one he was thinking about. You know, I could give you $1 million and fix your money crisis, right? Right? For a little while, then you create another crisis, and then you'll be in debt and have no friends. That's usually what happens. You know that. Because if you can't handle what you got, then how are you going to handle more? This is what the Bible tells us. Because if you don't have a system for handling money, money will handle you. And money doesn't like to be handled or controlled. It likes to be used. It likes to keep you in debt. It likes to keep you from doing the things that you want to do with your life. That's what it wants to do. Because you're not in charge. What we're trying to do is become in charge of what we need to do. Here's this guy right here. This guy's not in charge. His friends are. He has to depend on other people to get where he wants to go. He has to depend on people in order to give money to him so he can actually eat. So he was begging for change, but not the right kind. And he was about to get it. Great story. So Peter and John, let me read the story. So when Peter and John, they both came up, they entered, he asked them for money immediately. I don't know if have you seen this happen before? When I go to Walmart, I see this a lot. I don't know if you give money to them. This can go either way. This guy can get mad about what's about to happen. You never know what's going to happen. If you say, no, I'm not going to give you money. See, my system of giving has already taken care of this. I have a system where I give to Compassion International, I give to Shade Tree Ministries, I give to Marathon Church. So when I go to see somebody that needs money, I don't feel guilty about it because I already created a system of what's going to happen. It's the same way with prayer. It's the same way with reading the Bible. It's the same way with serving and giving. All those things are created in the system. What happens? I become more like Jesus Christ. What happens? Other people's lives are changed. And that's what you have to understand. He saw them. Peter looked straight at him, and so did John. Then Peter said, you need to look at us. Because this guy wasn't paying attention. All he was doing, give me some money, give me some money, give me some money. Why is he doing that? Because that's what he's used to. He wasn't used to people caring about it. He wasn't used to people caring. So these two were going to care. So the man gave them his attention, expecting to get something from them. Now, what was he expecting to get? He's expecting to get change, right? Boy, he's about to get some change. What are you expecting, by the way? You're creating this, I'm going to change my life in 5 years. What are you expecting? What do you want? You see what I'm saying? What are you expecting? You expecting more change? We're going to do something next month. It says, I was broke, but now I'm not. We're going to get you some more money. We're going to make filthy rich a clean word. I'll show you how it works. But this guy was not used to what was about to happen because he was just asking for money. And Peter said, silver or gold I do not have, but what I have I give to you in the name of Jesus Christ. You know, they're spreading the word. They're spreading the word. Jesus Christ of Nazareth, here we go. Walk, taking him by the right hand, he helped him up, and instantly the man's feet and ankles became strong. He said, I'm going to give you something that money can't do for you. I'm going to give you something that only Jesus Christ can do for you. This was a big deal because they're spreading the gospel. Jesus has risen from the dead. The power is everywhere. And he's going to tell them in a few minutes, hey, this wasn't my doing. This was Jesus Christ. So this guy's laying there, right? This guy's been laying there. He's wanting money. And now the guy's looking at him. And I would be thinking, so you going to do what? You going to give me who? What is this? And he took his right hand and he reached down. The right hand is authority. That's what this means in the Bible. God upholds us by his right hand. So he reaches down like this to help this man, and he pulls it back, right? Just kidding. How awful would that be? Whoop, 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 whoop. And, everything would have been different if this man, even the next chapters in the Bible, as they go to prison and everything happens, this whole thing would have been different if this man hadn't been here. This whole thing had been different if they had not created a habit. And I'll tell you what it is in just a minute. They had created a system which created a habit, which created this situation where this man is going to be changed. So what happened, they reached down. He reached down. Now here's where it comes in. It's the same for you right now. It's the same for you. They reach down in the name of Jesus Christ, authority and power, but you have to take it. See, God's waiting on you all the time. The power and authority has been given to us and been given to you, and you're waiting on it right now. Here's what I would say with some of you. Reach up and grab the hand. And I don't know who that's for, but you need to reach up, you need to grab the hand and say, yes, I will take that. Your life will change. And you won't just have change. You'll have more than you bargained for. So this guy was laying there. Peter and John come by. So now, if you were laying, let's think about this. If you had been laying around and this happened to you, what was the first thing you would do? Would you go run to Facebook and say, let me tell you something? Would you take a selfie? Look at here, and show your leg. Hey, you know, what would you do? Here's what we all should do when Jesus Christ changes our life. Here's what he did. He jumped to his feet and began to walk. Then he went with them to the temple courts, walking and jumping and screaming, thank you, God. Thank you, God. When all the people saw him walking, praising God, they recognized him. This was so funny. As the same man who used to be sitting and begging. Are we seeing the right thing? Somebody ever ask you that about you? Your life has changed. You become like Jesus Christ. They ask that about my people that I know and friends. They'll say, you're a what? I said, I'm a pastor. Really? You know there's a God, right? And so this is what happened to him. They're watching him walk around and run around, jumping up and down. I don't know if I would have probably tested my legs a little bit before I started jumping. You know what I'm saying? I think he just went for it. You know, why not? Hey, you know, why not? And they recognized him, and instantly the man's feet and ankles became strong. It was amazing what happened as they began to see this man screaming and hollering. Now, the problem was, now who did that? That was going to be the thing. Who did that? And so this was it. This was the time. This is the time when Peter and John had him. I can tell you who did it. Jesus Christ did this. It's not by me. Not by my power, but by his power. It's the same power that raised him from the dead. It's the same power that can change your life. What you need to do is take the hand. You see, this guy could have laid there. He could have kept begging for money. We wouldn't have had a story. He could have just been laying there begging for money. Nothing would have happened. We wouldn't have had a story. But this guy never, what happened? Well, this guy got more than change. He got a change. So now what is he going to do? Well, guess what? I'm going to get a job so I can have more change. So some of you are asking for the wrong things. You're asking too small when it comes to your life. You say, I'm going to want this in 5 years, I want this in 5 years. We're asking too small. You're asking for one thing, and God's going to give you something else. This guy didn't even recognize that he was crippled anymore. He'd been crippled so long, he forgot. He didn't look up and say, well, can somebody heal me? No, he said, give me some money. We've been asking too small. And now he's got to get a job. He gets to walk. Now he's going to have to get new friends because now the friends had taken him as far as they could take him. They took him to the beautiful gate. Every day they took him there to beg. Those friends took him as far as he could go, and now he's got to get some new friends. Now he's got to go to work because he can make change now. Because this might be what you need to think about. We may be asking for the wrong stuff and thinking the wrong things. When it comes to relationships, when it comes to our finances and our money, is it that we really need more money, or is it we just need to know how to do what we're doing? See, this is a question. I don't think more of that or more money or more whatever. I don't think, listen to this, even if we give you more time, I don't think it's going to work. Because you don't know how to handle what you got. This guy's life was changed forever. It was more than he expected. This is how God works. But everything happened at once. The physical healing, his life changed, and now Jesus Christ came into life, and spiritually, he will never be the same again. When you were saved, when you accept Jesus Christ in your life, what happened to you? Did you jump up and scream and run around the church? Or run around the golf course? Wherever you were, did you just scream and holler? This is what you should have. This is what I'm saying. It's such a life change. But you and I miss so much of God because we do not do the things that we need to do to get the full measure of God in our life. And I think it's time to stop. We need to stop playing with God, stop playing around with church, and we need to get God in our life. You need to get God in your finances. Everything needs to change, and I'm going to show you how to do it. I'll show you next week. You wouldn't like that, would you? Let's do it the way God does it. You want to do it? Okay, I got to hurry. Okay. This is what he said. He wanted to change, but what he needed was a change. We got that. Here's what we don't understand. Goals do not determine success. Systems determine success. So you can put anything out there you want, and you say, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to be, but it's the system that's going to tell you what your goals are and create your habits. Again, you have so many bad habits. 40% of what you're doing right now, somebody else told you had to do it. So how do we fix that? There's a way to fix it. It's called a system, and we're going to use God's system to fix it. And I'll show you how to do it. Here's what happened. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. Watch very carefully. The Jews do this. This is how they do it. The evening and the morning were the first day. So here's what happens. Here's God's system. Your day starts tonight because you have a chance to control what's going on tonight. If I'm going to do an exercise program, and here's what the Bible tells us, then I need to put out whatever I need to put out on my table when I wake up so I can see it. You need to write it down. You need to see it. You need to pay attention to it. You need to put it over the door. You need to put it on your finger. How do we know this? This is what God told us to do. What you're trying to do is start an exercise program in the wrong time. By the time you get up, and tomorrow morning is Monday, right? School's out. Let's start with Tuesday. Everything's just messed up tomorrow. Did it not? Everything is messed up tomorrow. I got to ask the question, what do you want? Do you want to become more like Jesus Christ? Put the Bible where you can see it. Let's break it down into small stuff. Let's say you want to exercise. Okay, you're going to get up and do one push-up. Everybody with me? That'll be the hardest thing you ever do in your life. You'll have to quit watching Seinfeld or something and just pause it and crawl on the floor and do one and get back on the couch. But you have to do something small. Let's just do the 4 things that the Bible says for us to do, and let's make sure we do those things. Hey, you need to read the Bible. Read one verse. Read one verse. Okay? Pray 1 minute. Have you ever prayed a minute? Let's do 30 seconds because I don't think you can do a whole minute. Because you'll run out of things. God help my dog, help my cat, my neighbor. I don't know them, but I think they're good, you know. And you just so you run out. So we're going to do one push-up. We're going to do 30 minutes. We're going to serve 5 minutes somewhere. Now, this is all determined tonight, not tomorrow. We're setting up what we are going to do for tomorrow. This is how God did it. It's 40-something times in the Bible where it goes evening and morning. The day starts in the evening and not in the morning. So tonight, I set up what I'm going to do tomorrow. I write down what I'm going to do tomorrow, what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm going to put things out. I'll be working out with these exercise bands. Can you tell? Well, it hadn't worked yet. But I got them hanging up when I come downstairs. Here's my 2 things. It's probably you. I look for coffee in the morning. Amen. Everybody good with that? I look for coffee to like, God, I can't even talk to you until I get some of that kind of thing. And then I go sit down in the dark and I hang out with God. This is my habit. Now, you got to create habits that are good. Okay? I mean, you have to create, but the systems tell you that. And then the exercise bands are hanging in the kitchen where I can see them hanging up. Okay? So I know I need to do that kind of thing. Where's your Bible? Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do one verse. We're going to do, this is so fun. Pray for 30 minutes. Can you serve 5 minutes? And it doesn't count for your children. It doesn't count. You have to pick what you want to do that day for somebody, somewhere. This is the 4 things, And then you have to give something. Here's what I would say to you. If I say to you, I want you to tithe, then you would say, what's that? That'd be 10% of your income. You're not going to do that. Right? That's not going to happen because you're not set up for anything. So start out with $10. We have a great testimony here next month on how that worked. But what I'm saying to you is, you don't have a system of spiritual stuff or physical stuff. You wait to see how you feel when you get up. How's that working out? When I get up, I'm thinking, I don't want to go do those exercise bands, but they're looking at me. So I'm going to do it. And I don't do 100 of them. I'm doing 20 right now. Am I going to work to 100? Sure. I'm going to work to it. I'm going to get there. So it's the system that we want. You have to ask, what do you want? Whatever you want, you set it up so it can happen. You don't feel it. It's not just praying about it. It's a system. This is the way God designed us and designed this whole world. And today starts at night. That's how it starts. So when the hand, this is it. He reached out that hand to that guy. And what did the guy do? He reached back. This is where I see the failure for most of us. God's hand has been out for so long. Take it. Take it. Do what you need to do right now. Take it. And for some of you, I don't know where you are. Most likely you're in a crisis. I would say God's hand has been there. I need you to reach up. I need you to grab it. You need to hang on to him. He's got you. He's got you. But I'm telling you, if you want to be like Jesus Christ, then set it up. Do the things that he does and watch your life change. I don't want a half measure. I want the full measure. Would you say that would be good? That's what I want. Let's stand. Let's pray together. Some of you need to accept Jesus Christ this morning. You really do. You really need to accept Jesus Christ in your life. Some of you need to stop playing around with this thing we call being spiritual and becoming like Jesus Christ. We've got 4 things to do. We need to do those 4 things. It just needs to be. I would go home tonight, and here's what they tell us. This guy here, James Clear, he said, you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your system. This guy wrote Atomic Habits. And one thing he tells us is that we write down the night before what we're going to do tomorrow. We plan the day in the evening just like God. Just like God. So tomorrow morning, what am I going to do? I know that I'm going to read God's word. I know I'm going to pray. I'm actually going to pray for you. Would y'all pray for me? When you get past all the dogs and cats, get to me. Come to me. Okay, get there. And that's what I'm going to do. I know giving is already a system for me. It'll already be going out. Marathon. I do all the Pasture National, Shade Tree. And the more I give, the more God is in my world and in my finances. I don't have to worry about it. But some of you don't know what he can do because you've never tried. Some of you have never served except yourself. And you only serve if you have to. Why don't we do something we don't have to do? I want to write that down tonight. We can set up all the systems, but they have to be done before or you'll never do them. So let's bow our head. Let's ask this question. Do I know Jesus Christ? Let's ask that. Do I know Jesus Christ in my life right now? If I leave this place and I go out this door and I get hit by a bus, will I be in heaven? That's the question. If you're not sure about that, I want you to pray this prayer with me. I will go slow. I will not embarrass you. You will not have to come forward or raise your hand. You can do it right where you are. Pray this prayer with me. Jesus, I ask that you come into my life and change me. Make me a new person. I want to follow you. I ask that you forgive me of my sin. Forgive me for not following you sooner. I believe you died for me. I believe you rose from the dead. Thank you for hearing my prayer and changing my life forever. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Let me say one thing. What changed the guy's life was Peter and John had a habit of going to pray. That's what changed their life. Changed his life. And you need that. So that's what we're going to talk about next week. We're going to move forward. We're going to set the stuff up to make your life wonderful. Okay? Love you guys. See you next week.